Hey guys, Keely Reeson here, owner of Love Hope Adventure, where I blog about the marriage relationship, intimacy in marriage, and how you can go deeper with your spouse. Today I'm answering a question about sexual fantasies, and do I know how this has helped anybody who maybe they're a low desire spouse, maybe they struggle, desiring sex, maybe they have a responsive desire, whatever the case. Do I know anyone or have I heard of anyone that's really been helped because of sexual fantasies? And the truth is yes. Okay, so I have people who have told me that, I wrote an article about giving yourself the permission to desire sex and to sexually fantasize about your husband or wife. And I've had people write in and tell me that that was really freeing to them. So maybe they were in a position where, they grew up believing that they shouldn't have sex before they get married, that's how I believe. But in practice, it's tough, right? Because when you're with somebody, it's really, really hard to not desire sex with them, right? And especially if you're getting close to getting married, even if you've been abstinent all that time, it gets even more difficult. And you might find yourself fantasizing sexually about your soon-to-be husband or wife. And if you're trying to stay pure and you're trying not to have sex with them before you get married, well, what do? You push it out of your mind. You have to push it away. So there are plenty of people who have a low desire now that kind of put themselves in that place because it was a coping mechanism to keep them abstinent while they were waiting to get married. And it was, something that has caused them shame or guilt. So maybe they don't continue to fantasize about their spouse. Now, when they think about it, they push it aside. So just being told to give yourself that permission has been really freeing to people that follow me. And here's another type of situation where I know it helps a low desire spouse or somebody with, responsive desire. Sometimes, very often actually, somebody who has a low desire or a responsive desire, they enter the sexual experience maybe not ready. Maybe they're not ready for sex. Maybe they're not emotionally there, mentally there. They're certainly not turned on. How can they help themselves? Sexual fantasy is one of those things that can absolutely help them, right? They can fantasize about their spouse and think about what they're doing to help themselves get more excited, help themselves feel ready for sex. And I've known plenty of readers who've told me that as well, that they think about, sex with their spouse while they are having sex with their spouse. What does that look like? Well, it can look like thinking about things they've done in past sexual experiences with you, like the past times you've had sex with each other. You can think about that. You can think about, if you've ever used, say, like the Just Between Us app, and you've ever taken pictures or anything of you and your spouse during that time, or stood in front of a mirror, those can kind of give you some visual things to think about that's good between you and your spouse, and that can be really, really helpful. So those are kind of the two types of situations where I have known people that sexual fantasy has helped them, even though they're like naturally a responsive desire spouse, or maybe have a difficult time feeling aroused and in the mood. Guys, I'm always willing to answer your questions, so if you want to ask them, feel free to email me, keely@lovehopeadventure.com. Leave me a message on any video. I'm happy to try and answer those questions as much as possible. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at lovehopeadventure.com/newsletter, and I will send you a copy of my free Sexy Truth or Dare. And also, I answer reader questions in that newsletter almost every week. You can fill out the anonymous request form on the homepage of lovehopeadventure.com. It's towards the bottom. It says anonymous questions, and if you don't want me to know who you are, you can always fill it out that way, sign up for the newsletter, and I'll answer you there. Thanks so much for joining me, and I can't wait to talk to you later.